Hello, felting friends. I hope you're having a good day today. I'm going to start a beginner series on shapes. And then eventually we're going to put those shapes together to make something else. But we're going to start with just some shapes. So the first very basic shape we're going to do is a circle. And circles come in handy because there's a lot of things that you can make with them. One thing that we might do today is just make a dryer ball. This is a well-used one, and I decorated it, but it's a good way to get the feel of how to make something of a decent size. So we might do that. We'll start with something little. There's lots of things, like something small like this could be a head, and that's what we're going to use it for with the project that I make once we've gone through some of the basic shapes. Something else that you could make is a little pumpkin. Just it's made with a circle, and then I did pieces of wool down the sides here to give it the shape. So that's, another thing that you would make with a circle. So anyway, there's a number of different ways that you can make a circle. I'm going to show you the way I like it, just because for me it works better. There's a couple other methods. I've tried one and I'll show you, but like I said, I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it depends on what type of wool that you're using. So, all right, so let's get started because I don't want this to take very long. I have here, let's see, I'll start with this. Okay, so this is a piece of batting core wool that I purchased in bulk, and I have just torn off about a quarter of it because we're going to go kind of small for the project that we're making. So we just pull it apart. I don't want to pull this apart because we'll use that for the big one. But anyway, so the way I like to do my balls is I start at one end and I just very tightly start rolling it up. And sometimes, let me grab a needle here, sometimes it helps to kind of give it a few stabs as you're going along. The tighter you can get it, the less stabbing you'll have to do in the end. So just put a few stabs here and there. Keep rolling. It's kind of sticking to my pad here. Remember, this is core wool, which might have some vegetation debris in it, but to use it as a center, that's perfectly fine. All right, so now that I kind of have it all together here, I'm just going to kind of stab to hold it. And when you're stabbing, you always want to keep turning your project to keep its shape. If you just stab in one spot the whole time, you'll end up with a flattened section and it won't be round. So you can see I'm just continually turning it. If you're new, you might want to wear your finger guards. I'm trying to stay clear of my fingers. I'm using a fairly larger needle. I don't know what the number is on this one, so. But as you can see, we have a circle going here. As you're working it, it's a good idea to take your hands and kind of rubbing it around just like if you had a ball of clay. Kind of helps to smooth it out a little bit. But this is pretty good. So there. So this one isn't felted as much as this one is. This one is pretty hard. You can see the difference in how much I can squeeze that one compared to this one. This one is probably a little too hard to use a project. I mean, the project that I have in mind, I used one this hard, but I had a harder time getting the other wool to felt over it. So It's not too bad. It's still kind of squishy, so this is a little bit better. One thing that I recently read was that you can expect your project to be about 30% of the original size. Is that right? No, to go down 30%, I believe. So, I don't know. I might have to check that. I don't have my notebook right here that I wrote it down. Anyway, it's going to really reduce down a lot. So you can see I started with the same amount of wool for this one as I did for this one, and you can see there's still quite a bit of size difference in there. So this one definitely needs some more. So that's one way that you can start a round ball. Okay. Another way, let me see, I don't know if I can do it with the core wool. Let me just take a piece here. Another way that people like to do it is they make a knot with their wool. So let's see if we can do this. Really tight. You can do a second knot. I don't know if I'm gonna like this way, but okay, so we have a knot here. So then we're just gonna take the rest of the wool here and kind of roll it on itself. Well, maybe that's not too bad. Let's see what we get here. It's definitely you're starting out with a firmer inside, so you might not have to stab it as much. I know the one time that I tried this, and it's been a long time since I tried it this way, I had a harder time getting a good circle, good ball shape. So let's see, I need a different needle here. Let's go with the green one. Yeah, so this, because it's the knot inside, has made it a lot harder. I couldn't use the bigger needle. It was giving me resistance, so we'll just switch to a finer needle here. Now this isn't doing too bad. I wasn't sure how it would do, because like I said, the last time I tried it, and I only tried it once, and I just didn't like it, how it came out, but this isn't going too bad. So the thing about this one, I'm feeling it, is I have some areas that are harder and some areas that are squishier, and it's due to those two knots that I put in there. But it's not doing too bad. I could probably work with that. And definitely, I think a little less stabbing is needed. So there's the two different ones. This one's a little, it's not as smooth all the way around. I mean, if you were to feel it, you can feel the knots inside, where in here it's all, you know, pretty smooth. But whoop, hello. Well, that just fell on the floor. So anyway, it's definitely an option that you can do. The third way, I think you wrap it around your finger and then pull it off and do it. But I'm not going to go that route. So, all right, so 2 balls. Okay. Now, here is a really good trick. In this jar here, I save all my little oopses and pieces of, you know, fiber that I cut off and stuff like that. So if you're doing something that's kind of big, like a dryer ball, it kind of helps if you have a little extra stuff to start with. I don't even know what some of the stuff is, but like, I don't know, I think I cut that or something. Anyway, I have some little things here that just weren't going the way I wanted them to go. There's a leg that I didn't like how it came out. And I mean, some of this stuff I could maybe use for another project, but let me show you. So this mat here that I made, I actually started with a whole bunch of scraps like this. I just kept putting them into a jar, and when I wanted to make a new felting mat for myself here, I went and put them into a box the size of my mat that I wanted to do, and I started felting them down. And then I think I might have used pre-felt. Pre-felt is like a, I'll show you another time, is like a a sheet of felt, but it's not as firm as like what you would buy a sheet of felt in the store is. So anyway, I put all these little pieces in a box and I started stabbing them, and I just continued to add to it, and then I did a final cover over it to make this. But to make a dryer ball, we can do the same kind of a thing. So I have a big piece of batting here, and I'm just going to kind of put some of these little things here in the middle. I probably won't be able to use all of them, but let's see what I can get here. There's some pieces that are just loose, and I have some bigger pieces. Let's see if we can get them all in here. Alright, so now I'm gonna kind of wrap this up here. So really, you don't have anything go to waste, because let's see what we can do here. I'll start with my bigger. Now I'll probably have to add a couple see, I even have some black there. And the nice thing about this is, because it's just a dryer ball, I mean, you can leave it just plain. So I have this orange here, it's kind of sticking through. It won't, I'll have to put more core on it, but you can decorate it like I did on mine. I put a flower on it. But you want it to be about the size of a tennis ball, is basically what dryer balls are. So the nice thing about this is you can, those waste pieces that you would normally just throw away, they won't go to waste, and you don't have to spend the money on, I don't know what dryer balls go for these days. I mean, I don't imagine they're terribly expensive, but if I don't have to buy it, I prefer to make it. So let's see. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit more here. That piece. No, I won't use that piece because that piece is for something else. Just grab some more here. I'll use all this. Okay, so it's kind of big. So I'm just going to cover up those thinner areas there. In some areas I'm finding my needle is going through really easily, and other areas it's a little harder to go through because of those sections that had already been felted. There's a little bit of debris there. I can just pull that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up my stabbing here, just so you don't have to sit here and watch this all. And then I will come back to you when I have it more down to the size that I want it to do. In fact, I'm gonna pull out my multi-tool. Let's see, which one do I want? I think that one. Actually, I wonder if this will work. Let's try this one and see if this will work. Yep, that just locked it. I haven't used this on a round surface too much, so let's see if it will felt. Alright, so I'm going to speed this up, and I will be back when I have it felted down. Okay, so it's still pretty squishy. If you compare the two of them, it's still quite squishy, so it still has some felting to go. However, I want to add some color to this because, you know, white dryer balls are just boring. You know, if you're gonna have to do laundry, you may as well have something kind of pretty to look at, you know, when you're moving it in and out of the dryer, right? So one thing that you want to be aware of is some dyes might fade or might run, so you kind of want to use maybe lighter colors. I'm just looking in my box here from my kit that I got. Oh, I don't know what I want to make on it. Let's just do some pretty spring colors. What do I got here? Green. We'll do those three. Okay. So I just took out from my little kit in the last video, if you watched that, the unboxing, I just took out some light colors. I didn't notice any with the flower that I did, any kind of, you know, bleeding or anything like that, because I mean, you can see that it hasn't really bled at all around the white part. This is all just from being in the dryer. So I'm not too concerned. What I did do was, after I made this one, was I ran it in a load of hot water with some whites that I did, and then it went into the dryer. So I think that would kind of help with the, if there was going to be any running or anything, but like I said, I didn't notice anything there, or do it with a load of darks or whatever. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I think I'm just going to kind of randomly put some colors on here. I'm not a very good abstract kind of a person, because I'm a very orderly, detailed person, but I'm just going to kind of start to lay some of these colors on here. And I will speed this up again. And we'll see where we go from there. So I wanted to stop here and show you. So what I'm doing is, as you watch me, I'm kind of going across, and you can see the difference between this area here that I just did compared to this area here. And I just keep kind of going that way, going across, finding areas that are still pretty soft and working my way across. This is turning out pretty cool. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop there. It could probably still go. It's still kind of squishy because of all those pieces in the middle, but I might continue to work it a little bit more. It's something I like to do in the evenings when I'm watching TV. I can sit there and do a lot of finishing because it's sitting at my desk here gets to my shoulders after a while. But I can sit in my chair and watch YouTube videos about needle felting or homesteading and work it a little bit more, but that's not too bad. I like how the colors kind of came out there. One note, you might want to, if you have animals, to keep these away because animals, cats and dogs, really like wool and they will destroy your pieces, so just keep that in mind. This one is going to be a bit bigger than my other one, but you know, there's no rule that says how big a dryer ball needs to be as long as it helps control static. So I think that turned out pretty good. Okay, so I am going to end this video here and I will see you on the next one for the next shape that we're going to do. Have a good rest of your day and we will see you again soon.